Right, so we're going to do an oil change on the bike now. We're going to get that oil out, check the gauze filter, make sure there's no crap in there, and also clean this crank breather as well. Let's take a look. Right, so if you just look inside the crankcase vent hole there, you can see all that little bits of water droplets. This is just, it's not really got a water pump problem, nothing like that. This has happened because you will get moisture, look at it, you will get moisture build up inside the crankcase if the bike's been stood and fired up and not run up to temperature. Moisture will build up as the heat builds up in the crankcase, so that's why you do get, I think I mentioned it before, you will get some little bit of haziness there, or look like a milky residue, similar to if your water pump seal's gone, so you're getting water in the oil. Some people get frightened about it, but it's not to worry. That's just natural, so it will build up in there if you're not running the bike. If you look at the filter here, you can see that this damn focus is rubbish, isn't it? You see that there. So this just does need a good clean out. Get the diaphragm cleaned out in there. We'll run through that with some petrol or something and let it dry out. So that's not a massive problem really. We'll just make sure there's no more moisture and water droplets getting back into the engine. I thought you should know, so don't get worried if you take that off when this happens. Usually I would warm the engine up and get the oil up to temperature so it would flow out quicker. You get a bigger majority of the oil out that way. On this occasion I've got lots of work to do on this before we fire this bike up, so I want to get this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is dump the oil out. I mean, I can leave this trickling anyway while I do all the work on it and then come back to it in a bit. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. Right, I'll sit this on the bench, so there's absolutely nothing on that. Nothing at all, especially nothing nasty, so get him on there. We'll let that drain out and we'll check this sump plug, see if there's any filings on it or copper or anything like that. Okay, so next job, that's stopped dripping now. Next job is to get this out. This is the updated gauze plug on this one, the better one. The old one on the 916, like on mine, has got a is it a 20mm or 21mm bolt on their cap. Like the whole thing comes out with a brass threaded insert, I think it is, and then you've got the plastic gauze housing along that, and they're prone to dropping off and landing in your sump, so this is the better one. Right, let's get this off. I can just see in there, get my torch on, just seeing there we've got another big Allen key bolt head, so it's the same size as a cap. You want to get that off. When you get your socket, ooh, that's loose. Shizer. I was about to say, when you get your, I'll show you when you get out, that's loose. Well, that's spotless. Focus on it. There's a filter, so that's absolutely spotless, that, which is a really, really good sign. Considering the mileage, it's pretty good. Don't really need too much cleaning on that. This, I do an oil change, probably different to most people. I don't just change the oil, especially if the bike's been stood. Where's this bloody sump plug? So get your little finger, stick it in the hole and give it a little bit of a rub around. I can feel, you may not see on my glove, but I can see grey, milky, spoodgy oil. It's down there, look. Oh, that's spooge, look at that. That's sludge from the sump, so we need to get that out. I want to clean that sump out, make sure there's no crappy residue inside it, like that spooge and stuff like that. So when I do oil change, I don't just change the oil. I usually do it about 3 times when I first get a bike, because I find that there's still crap inside the sumps and stuff like that. I don't really use engine flush, stuff like that. If you do use engine flush, you can use it. I suppose I have used it on the cars before, but do a few more oil changes after to make sure all that detergent's out. What I'm going to do with this is put some lighter oil in there, get it nice and hot, the bike, and then dump it out, put some more oil in, and probably take it for a run, something like that. Take the bike for a run, get it up to temperature, bring it back, dump the oil out again, so it's worked around the system. That way we're cleaning that all oil out, and we're going to change a filter as well on top of that. So after that, oil change after oil change on time. So that's another little tip. That's what I do anyway with oil change. I don't just dump it out, put some fresh in, and use the bike as it is. Okay, let's go back to it. Oil filter out. Right, so I've got everything. That's the old oil filter there, high flow, and I've got some i4 filters there. They're not bad, nothing wrong with them really. I've got a few Ducati ones here. I've had this one on my shelf, it's brand new. I've had this one on my shelf for a while. And another Ducati one there, brand new. Only thing I don't quite like about these ones is the Ducati ones is that they don't come with a cover over the top. Like the high flow ones are covered. So you never know where they've been if something's dropped inside them. So I'm not really a massive fan of the Ducati ones, believe it or not. Notice as well, I forgot to tell you, this has got silicone on it. I don't know what's happened there. I think the wiring must have, either somebody's messed around with it or something. The wiring's exploded. It should have like a rubber boot on top of it. I'll try and deal with that as well. Right, now I've just had my bore scope camera just to check inside here. Can you see that there? Ooh, what is that? It looks like a little rubber o-ring. I can't focus on it. There's something in there. And it does look like an o-ring, there's that, so I'm going to fish it out. It's nothing, it's just a little bit of silicone from when the engine casings were put together, so that's all that is. It's not an o-ring or nothing like that. So I'm ready to put some oil back in the bike now. I've got a packet there with my new crush washers. Must replace those, by the way. This is the old one from the sump plug. You can see there it's crushed. It's more or less flattened and enlarged in size. I've cleaned out this, not that it wanted to clean, this was actually quite spotless, nothing came out of it apart from a bit of old oil. Got my Ducati oil filter there, got my torque wrench, everything's ready to go. Got my coffee which has gone cold. So I'm going to fit the new seals on there, the new crush washers, and we'll crack on. So this bike's been stood for quite a while now, and we've already still got oil coming out of it when I took the sump plug out again, which is a good thing. We're getting rid of most of that nasty stuff. So my last video I fitted the new seal on the clutch hub in there. That's all ready to go, beautiful nice seal. And what I want to do now is, before I put the clutch in, I just want to get this full of oil and make sure there's no leaks from it. It should have cured now all that silicone from overnight. I'm giving it a clean up around here, make sure there's no excess. I want to make sure it's holding oil, so we don't want to be taking the clutch back out again. Right, so I'll get the sump plug in and the oil filter on, the screen filters, stuff like that, torque them up, and we'll take a look, eh? So this video is like all my videos. It's for people who've never done this before. I know there's a thousand videos on YouTube of people doing oil changes, servicing, stuff like that. Underneath here is where the sump plug is located, where it goes. We've given it a clean round here. It'll still drip oil out of it, don't worry. We've given it clean out this surface, because this surface needs to be flat and free of any gruesome crap. Otherwise it's not going to seal properly. We're going to screw him in there by hand. I've also cleaned out the oil filter housing as well. Make sure that it's spotless in there. When the seal goes, you're going to get a better seal in it. So I put that in. We're going to now put the mesh filter back in there, then we'll torque everything up. Okay, I'm just going to torque this up to 20 Newton meters, okay? It seems very little, but obviously there's a lot of, it's a long torque wrench, so let's give it a bash. So that's done that. Right, this one was loose before when I came to take it out, so let's see if we're in now. Just like that. That's tightened up. I'll pull this out, there we go. Lovely. So that one's 20 Newton meters, wrong way. There we go. Lovely. Right then, so we're ready to put some oil in it. I've got 4 litres of 1040 fully synthetic oil there. Got our oil filter, and we've also got, I've tipped out 500ml because it says 3.5 litres of oil in the Ducati 748. I'm going to use, when I've finished my final oil change, Shell Ultra 4 1040 oil. Okay, the reason I'm putting this in, it's not bad oil. The reason I'm putting this in is just to rinse around that engine when we get it fired up and take it for a little run down the road and back. Hopefully this should shift some of that sludge that's maybe still trapped in there, and we'll clean that out. New oil filter and some Shell Ultra 4, but we're going to run it with this in first of all, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is fill up the oil filter itself. I don't like putting oil filters in dry. When you do fit an oil filter and you do fill a sump up with oil, it will seep into there instantly. It doesn't need the engine to run around, to turn round to pump oil into the filter. It should just settle in there already, but I'd rather get this primed because when you put oil in there, the air will escape, okay? So I want to get that primed with oil before I put it on the bike, alright? Let all that air escape out of there. I'm also just looking because I'm curious if any nasty bits float to the surface. Not that it should, it's a new filter. See all that air escaping? They take a lot more than you think, these filters, to be honest. So that's soaking into the filter now. A little bit more in there. Right, so I'll keep doing that until the air stops, okay? I don't really need to bring it right up to the rim. It's just to get most of that air out, and we'll fit it on the bike, okay? Right, let's get you in, fella. You may tip oil all over here, but we'll do our best. And we're in. With minimal mess. I do want to get it clean out here. So the torque setting for this is 10 Newton meters. And you don't want to over tighten these oil filters on anything really, because of the rubber seal that's on the top. If you over tighten them, especially when they're dry, it'll distort that seal. I know on the Ford as well, a lot of problem with Fords and Transits and things like that. People over tighten that seal. It's 10 Newton meters, very little. If you over tighten it, you'll burst that seal or tear it. They're quite thick on these Ducati filters and the iFlow ones, so it'll be hard to tear it, but you don't want to distort that seal, okay? Otherwise you're going to have oil leaks everywhere. Right, so we're going to nip this up a little bit, and then we should be done there. There we go. Right, let's get some oil in. So it's on the paddock stand, it needs to be flat level, but what I'm going to do first of all is just get this sump filled up, let it settle. I'm going to leave about half a litre in there maybe, or perhaps a litre in there. I'm just going to see where it gets. So there's still maybe oil around this engine. We won't know its true reading until we've got it fired up, but I'm kind of just checking to make sure this doesn't leak at the moment. So let's get this in there and get it filled up. So watching that sight glass, it should fill up and settle back down, alright? Right, so that's enough for now. I've dropped it off the paddock stand. It's just resting like that, so I've got it myself. It will hang around there on its own, okay? So if you want to get it level, sorry for panning the camera around. If you want to try and get it level, just stick it on the paddock stand, but just leave the wheels on the floor like that, so it'll help just to keep it upright, so we can get a true oil reading. So that's where we're at now. It's just in between the maximum and minimum mark. I'm going to leave it there because I want to fire up the engine. There still will be oil in that engine, okay, so it won't push through. We've got, looking at it, just under 2 litres left inside that container, so it's quite a lot that. I can't see there being 2 litres in there, but what we're going to do, like I said, is we're just going to turn that engine over and see if that disappears, but I'll not be able to do that until I get everything else built up, okay. Just checking that oil, it's gone down, start to go down, so I'm going to get this leveled up and top that oil up. Let's have a look here, get my light on. Okay, you can see that moisture building up already, look, in that sight window. That's normal. Until I run it, it'll stay like that. Let's get him level. If it's too much in, just bleed some out. You can bleed it out of the gauze filter cap as well. Right. So that's where we need to be. The bike's level now. I'm just looking at the front tyre, the rear tyre. It's as level as I can get it on my own. So I'm going to leave it at that. And what I'll do, like I said before, I'll wait now till I run the bike. Take it down the road, run the bike and give it a little flush round. I'll dump the oil out when it's nice and hot and change the filter, put some Shell oil in it, Shell Ultra 4 as it says on the clutch case in there, and fit a new filter, and that should be it. That's it for an oil change. So, oh, by the way, what I mean by level is the bike must not be on a side stand or the paddock stand, and it must be on level ground. All you want to do is sit it up, pull the bike over, sit it up so it's completely straight. Get someone to help you. If you're on your own, it's easy if someone can help you. Make sure the bike is level, then take your oil reading, alright? If you know how to do this applies to every single motorcycle. If you know how to do this, then clearly you don't need to see my video, alright? So don't be offended. But that's how you do it, just in case you're a complete stranger to motorcycle maintenance, alright? That's how I do oil changes. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video, and good luck with your Ducati maintenance adventures. Let me know how I've done in those comments. If I've missed out anything, let me know. Okay, right. See you in the next video.